Hello, so my name is Brittany Gear, and in this video we're going to talk about how to become a financial advisor and what are the steps that you need to take. Also in this video I'll be talking about the different type of financial firms, whatever you choose to work with and how they work and operate. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I know. Just to introduce myself, again, my name is Brittany Gear. I am a financial advisor. I'm also a life insurance agent as well, by default. But before, I'll probably have to edit this out. I always took an interest in the stocks, financial planning, investing, and things like that. So I was like, hey, why not be a financial advisor? So that's what I did. So how to become a financial advisor is simple. The first hardest hurdle is passing the test. So now there's about 5 tests that you have to pass: Series 7, Series 66, SIE exam, life and health. Before, it was just a Series 7, the 66, life and health. SIE didn't even exist, but now it does exist. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Those exams are very tough, and you have to focus and you have to study. There's people that, yes, they pass without studying, but I'm not one of them. I've been an A, B student, so I get really good grades, but when it comes to taking tests, I'm not the best test taker, and that's okay. And the reason why I bring that up to you is because I took the Series 7 3 times. I failed twice. So I want you to think, if you are going through this process and you fail, it's okay. Probably 95% of the industry, someone failed one of the exams. I failed twice. The first time I failed, I really didn't study. I was like, I'm just gonna wing it. The second time I failed, I actually failed by 1 point. So you could understand how disheartening that was. And I actually took the old Series 7 where there was 2 sections. So I forgot how many questions were on the exam, but there was 2 parts. So the first part was for like 2.5 hours, I think 2.5 hours, and then you get like a half an hour or hour break, and then you come back and you do the second part. So it was like a 7-hour exam. Like by the time I was in the second part, like I'm sitting there thinking about Dragon Ball Z, and I don't even watch Dragon Ball Z. I'm thinking about anything, the moon, Pluto, anything, because it's just so hard to focus on the stuff on that exam. Ask any advisor. I don't care if the advisor's been there for a year. I don't care if the advisor's been there for 50 years. If they were to take that exam right now without studying, they would fail. Because majority of the stuff that you know, sure, it's like a little introduction, so you know some things, but your day-to-day as a financial advisor, you don't really use that knowledge. I'm just being honest. So if you fail, brush yourself off, don't get down on yourself, and just study harder, figure out a new way. And also what I could say is the first 2 times that I did take that exam, I used Kaplan, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. It seemed like disorganized to me. It just didn't fit my studying criteria or habits, or whatever you want to call it. But the 3rd time I took it, I used training consultants, and I felt like it was really good. Obviously, I passed it the first time, but it also was, I took the test, so I already knew what to expect, and I was determined. I'm like, I'm never failing this test again, because I'm not gonna take it ever again in my life. So the first exam, the Series 7, and it's very broad. It's like the broad scope of the financial industry, stocks, bonds, preferred stock, options, things like that. Then the Series 66 is funny because a lot of people say the Series 66 is much harder than the 7. To me, I thought the Series 66 was way easier. And the reason why is the Series 66 is a lot of jargon, there's a lot of rules and regulations and jargon. I guess that's what makes it difficult, but it's very detailed and specific. And I do better when it's detailed and specific compared to it being like a broad overview, which that was the 7. It was very gray in some areas. The 66 is very black and white. It's like math. It's like you either know the answer or you don't. Like when it's reading comprehension and you're thinking one thing, but it's really the other. That's how I felt the Series 7 was. So I actually did really well on the 66. I passed it the first time. I thought it was easier in my opinion. And then after that, so since I took the old Series 7, so I had to take like the 7-hour test, but then I didn't pass it. The third time I took it, it was the new Series 7. So it's kind of broken up with the SIE and the Series 7. So I took the SIE. It's an easy exam. It's really easy. Actually, how they have it broken up now is way easier than how it was in the past, because you don't have to sit through a 7-hour exam. So the Series 7, this SIE, I don't know, it's maybe like a 2-hour exam, and then the Series 7, maybe like a 3-hour exam. So super easy. And then life and health is really quick. I actually use 80 Banker to study, and no problems. It's very easy. So one thing I could say is, if you want to become a financial advisor, which is great, 4 out of the 5 exams, I believe, you don't need to be sponsored by a financial firm. So you could take life and health, the SIE, and the Series 66. Okay, so yeah, the life and health are 2 different exams. They're not together, but you can take them together. So life, health, SIE, and 66, you could take without the sponsorship of a financial firm, which is great because you could do all this before applying. So when you do apply, you're like, hey, I have leverage. I already got the exams. Like, I'm ready to go. And then the only thing you need to do is get sponsorship with the Series 7. So with the Series 7, you do have to be sponsored by a firm. So when choosing the firm, it really all depends. I have experience in almost all of them. I didn't work in the bank side, but I did interview with them, so I know what they're looking for and what the day-to-day job description is. So if you're brand new, just starting out, I would say either start with the bank or start with like a major wirehouse. And when I say wirehouse, I'm saying like the Merrills, the Morgan Stanleys, just because they pay for your licenses, they pay for your tests, they pay for everything. So they pay for all those exams you have to take, and they also pay for your study material as well. So it's really cost efficient, and all the while you're studying and taking the exams, you're on salary, you're getting paid to do this. So majority of the times they'll probably start you off at $50,000. Like, imagine getting paid to study. It's like the easiest thing in the world. It's great. And I would say take full advantage of it because they have a great training program when it comes to that. So I already listed the major wirehouses and like working at a bank like JP Morgan Chase, or I don't know, name your bank. Financial firm that's not one of those 2 is something like the Northwesterns, the Prudentials, the Equitables. I worked in that industry as well, and in my opinion, I really just feel as if you're a glorified insurance agent. So if you want to be an insurance agent, that might be the route to go, especially when you're first starting out. Majority of your business and clientele and transaction is going to be insurance because that's what they push. Now, as you go through the later years and things like that, you're able to have assets under management or AUMs, which is great. But first starting out, you do really feel like a glorified insurance agent with the fancy title as financial advisor. But it also depends on which office you work with, who's your mentor, who's your manager, and how they help you build your book of business. Because clearly, as a financial advisor, you have free realm to build it however you see fit, which is great. You don't have somebody nagging you to punch a clock. You literally come and go as you want to, but also remember that will dictate how much money you make, how much clients you bring in, because at the end of the day, even though you had the freedom and autonomy to do whatever you want to, you still need to get paid and you still need to meet goals. So when becoming a financial advisor, you really got to figure out what you want, because also being with the Prudentials and the Northwesterns, a lot of them don't provide a salary. So can you work at a job that's strictly commission based? With me, I was working at a job commission based, but I had big girl bills. I have rent, I have car, I have insurance, I have credit card bills, I have debt. I was just racking up debt because in the beginning, you're not going to start making money because you also have to find your clients. And if you're new to the financial industry, you don't know where to find your clients. You don't know how to close a deal. So there's a lot of intangible things that goes into being a financial advisor, and you really just have to be smart about it. So that's part one of the conversation of how to become a financial advisor. There's going to be more videos coming on the way, and I'm going to continue talking about my experiences and do's and don'ts and all this fun stuff. But one thing I could say is being a financial advisor is very rewarding. And when you do step foot into a financial firm, the first thing people are going to tell you is, I don't know, feels like my glasses is dirty. The first thing that they're going to tell you is for the first 3 years, you're going to be overworked and underpaid. And then after the first 3 years, you're going to be underworked and overpaid. And honestly, I believe it. You know, there's advisors that I've seen wearing $30,000 watches, you know, driving $100,000 cars. Their houses look like straight off of MTV Cribs. I know I'm dating myself because that's not even around now, but their houses are immaculate. And financial advisors, they make a lot of money because they know what they're doing, they know how to prospect themselves, and they know how to market. So stay tuned to part 2 where I talk a little bit more about the day in the life of a financial advisor. And I think it's a great career, but you need to have the mindset and you need to have the work ethic, because if you don't, you might as well not waste your time. Peace.